Hey, Cardinals fans, welcome back to the Redbird Rundown, presented by I-70 Sports, your home for all things St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Andy, joined today with Jonathan and Matt, and today we would just love it if you take just a second to shout us out, share those links, get us on Spotify, Apple links with your friends, help grow the community. They can also be found on Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter, and you can watch us on YouTube. Today we're going to continue our audit, our performance review, if you will, of the St. Louis Cardinals 2025 season. In this next segment, we're going to be focusing in on the relief pitching, so the bullpen. And before we get into that review, let's do a real quick around the horn, starting with Jonathan of our vibe check from this past week.
Okay.
Let's open it up to more. It doesn't. You can stick with the Cardinals, but you know what? If
Okay.
you want to vibe check something else, go for it.
I'm gonna vibe check something else here. It's gonna be the Christmas tree is up.
Hey.
Christmas tree is up. The Christmas tree was up November 1st. I'm a
Okay.
psycho. We're some psychos around here.
No,
And
there's a couple of people who've done that.
I just
Now,
thought you have it, you have the stuff, and it's like you get 2 months.
Just maximizing your effort.
Because it's like
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
it's not like a horrible thing if it bleeds into January. Like you don't want to
Sure.
put your Halloween stuff up in August.
yeah.
I do, but
Well, that's true. Why wouldn't you not? But anyway, the tree is up, so I feel good about that. I'm glad it's all done, and here we are.
So, real quick, are you a no Christmas music till December kind of person, or did you let it rip when you were putting it up?
We let some rip, but
Hmm.
Staples, when we worked
ruined
there,
it.
yeah,
Really?
like well, to a degree where like I hear songs and it's like it takes me back like into that moment where I was. I hear it in other stores and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll be singing it. And they're like, do you know this? I'm like, unfortunately, it's been beamed into
Yeah,
my
because they
head.
played it 8 hours
Hmm.
the entire time the store was open. And here's the secret about Christmas music. There are 7 songs
Yeah.
covered 53 different ways, and that's all there is. So
Yep.
I'm with
Staples
you. It's kind
Christmas
of
to
I like
me
it, but it's yeah.
Yeah.
was just I have the only memory I have of Staples Christmas because I don't that doesn't stand out to me. So that's what's interesting. What stands out to me and my memory is those tin cans of popcorn. That's it. That's
Sure.
Christmas. They have
That's
like cheddar
that's a
and
staple.
yeah.
I was in a
That's
Walmart in the middle of
Uh,
Missouri last week, and I saw those out. They had the
oh
pallet
yeah.
out. They pulled her out, buddy. You got the caramel, you got the regular, and you got the
yep.
cheddar cheese
Did you
stuff,
guys
and
ever
that's
break
just
any on
on
accident? I'm
purpose.
using air quotes, guys. Like, did you
Yeah, we
guys ever
definitely
code those
accidentally
suckers
did.
out? Oh man,
Had to try it
I
out.
took a turn too tight on the pallet jack. Sorry.
Oh man.
Never
Ma-
really liked that stuff. To TBH, yeah.
Oh man, the caramel's good, but yeah, that is okay. Either way, Matt, you have a vibe check. What's going on with you? And
Yeah, you know what? Spring training's around the corner.
right?
I feel like you get into November
I know.
and just my school schedule, I'm just like, oh, whoa, it's Thanksgiving. And then I turn around like, oh, whoa, it's Christmas. And then you turn around like, oh, whoa, it's
I
January.
know.
And then you start getting the tweets from the Cardinals of like,
Yeah.
oh, shoot, they're going to be there next month. And
Yeah.
it goes really fast. I think the baseball offseason seems faster to me than the rest of them because of where that
Mhm.
offseason is and how busy your life is in general. And I kind of like that. Bring them back. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready to
That's
go.
really funny. It goes right into like what mine is like I just was like taken back when yesterday I read that like they had scheduled the first spring training games, and I was like, oh my gosh,
I
it's
know.
like Cubs, White Sox, and I forgot the AL games.
Hmm.
But I was like, man, oh man. Well, I guess that would be interleague, but either way. And yeah, it's just how quickly it is, and also the World Series Game Seven pulled 51 or 57 million. Help me out with the numbers there. Which one
Something
was
like
it?
that. It was something really
Mhm.
high.
It was a
Double
very
the NBA.
yeah. And then I saw
It's
I don't
impressive.
know if it was clickbait. I didn't watch the whole thing because I didn't have time. But apparently, this Japanese show went on the streets and interviewed people in Tokyo, and to see how many people it would take until someone didn't know who Shohei Ohtani was.
Oh man, are they still doing it?
Stab, right? Take a stab. Anyway, just
Oh,
ballpark that
he's
sucker
everywhere. He's everywhere.
everywhere. Ballpark
I
that
figured they
sucker.
probably had to go to Kazakhstan to
Yeah.
find somebody.
It was I was like I got to see how they
Uh,
did this. It was 7,364 people. That's how many people they had to ask. Do you know
wow.
Shohei Ohtani? I was like, oh my gosh.
That's
But
about
yeah,
7,000 more people than I would have done. I would have just
Yeah, I
given
was
up.
that's what I said. I was like, golly, the
dedication.
commitment to this bit.
Yes.
Man, oh man, they really wanted it. But people online are like, the power, because there's this looming talk of like a contract dispute, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And they're talking about how numbers like that are going to put more pressure on the owners, right, to get to roll this product out because that was more viewership than the NBA Finals of Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So it's just interesting. It's just an interesting tidbit. I know we're not talking about that
Yeah.
today, but it was just kind of all that kind of is what my vibe check was. Is like,
Mhm.
wow, it's already here, and also the future vibe check of, was it past 2026 is the 2027 season that would be
Yeah.
potentially a contract
Mhm.
Yes.
year.
Yes.
Yeah. So
They got some motivation to
yes,
not make this some ridiculous
they had the
lockout.
whole country of Japan locked in. All of
Yeah.
them. And they had
Yeah.
half of Canada watching that game on
Hmm.
I
game
know we'll end
seven.
up talking about this, but since we're here, I think that this offseason could get a little wacky because of that. You could see some contracts and be like, what? Why is that a 1 year deal? I think teams are thinking that. I think probably
Yeah.
agents are thinking that. So it just will be interesting to see how that plays out. And if there are some weird 1 year deals, maybe this is where the Cardinals can kind of sneak in and get
Mm.
somebody we wouldn't normally get.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because
Eh,
I
eh,
did
yeah.
I did see on I didn't do the research into it, so I took it at face value. So this is just some random person on Reddit. But they said that like it doesn't look like many Cubs are under contract past 2026 for that exact reason. That's what the dialogue was, is that all those things. So it is interesting that the teams are doing things like that, if that is a true
Yeah.
statement. Well, boys, let's get into what we are actually going to talk about in today's episode, which is our bullpen, which was a nicer, more palatable experience for us as we went through this than the starting rotation, which was Sunny is okay and everybody else was not.
It wasn't sunny. It was not
It
sunny
was
to review.
It
it
was
was
like
not Sunny.
Libby, and then it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just listener, I know for me personally, as the most casual of the three of us, the bullpen to me can be this like amalgamation. They just like bring up names. You're like, who is this
Yeah.
person? What are
Yeah.
we doing with
How'd we
them?
get him?
What I've never
Yeah.
heard, what? How do you pronounce that last name?
Yeah.
So just as we get into the weeds on each player, just take it as a macro from the get-go that this is a more pleasant experience. Okay. So
Yeah.
first, let's just start with someone that I was kind of surprised about some of the numbers. So I want to start with Riley O'Brien, also known as Rob, as also known as Frisbee Slayer.
Oh,
Slayer.
Frisbee Slayer is
I thought you
congratulations.
were gonna say Slinger. Slayer
No,
is so much
Slayer.
You've done
better.
it. You've done it.
Yeah, Rob the
You've done
Frisbee
it.
Slayer.
Old FS. FS.
So let's go
Wow.
through.
That's
Matt
so good.
alluded to the fact that he kind of pulled his own off-speed pitch here. He changed it up on us. So
Oh.
let's see what Matt's got in store for us.
Well, so here's what I did. I wanted to go through the guys like these they have been, but I just think the bullpen is different than everything else. And I don't think you can judge bullpen guys the same way that you can starters because of their truncated innings.
Yeah.
Two bad outings for a bullpen guy is going to really throw your
God,
numbers
it's
out of whack
devastating. Yeah.
more than a starter can.
Yes.
So I'm aware, as I was going through this, I was aware of their ERA, I was aware of their FIP. I looked at those things, but I tell you what I did is what I wanted to see was, do they have some kind of, I looked for elite skills.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of weapon we can use here? And if this past season's results weren't super good, is there still some kind of elite thing that these players were looking at? So instead of Fangraphs, Baseball Reference, which also, just let me take 10 seconds and say the amount of public data out there for people that's just available is just kind of mind blowing. It is awesome. And
Yeah.
I think that this is the single best sport for looking through that stuff. I know football's got advanced stats and basketball does too, but there's something different about baseball. It's really
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to say just about that before I get the Frisbee Slayer going here?
But I thought about that myself. I was like, do they even have like the amount of information? Like, do you
Mhm.
think they have that information about like a QB, like how much the ball spirals, or like
They're
is it
probably,
publicly available?
I don't know for sure. I haven't done like a football thing like I do
Yeah.
baseball, but the stats they have just fit with what you see in a way that, I don't know, just really clicks. Baseball does really well with this.
Yeah, I've heard other podcasters reference advanced stats for basketball and for
Hmm.
football, and I just don't know enough about it. But you're absolutely right, Matt, where I feel like when you deep dive into certain players on Fangraphs or these other resources, I know you talked about Baseball Reference, and then the other one, the Google Statcast, it goes straight to it. I can't think of the name of it. It's got the
Baseball
bars.
savant. This
Yeah,
is what
Baseball
I'm going to
Savant. That's a perfect
rely on
one.
today. Yeah.
I feel like you can really like, why was Riley O'Brien good? Oh, here's why. Like you can actually like tease this out, and these studies are so satisfying because you can actually learn
All
something.
right, Matt. So why was Riley O'Brien so
Yeah,
good?
yeah, yeah. Here we
Well,
go.
so here I zeroed in on Baseball Savant. I went and looked. They've got it color coded. Red bars are good, blue bars are bad. It made this very easy, especially if I'm looking for elite skills. Let me tell you the red bars for Riley O'Brien. It's going to take a second, so hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
Fastball velocity, average exit velocity, barrel percentage, what percentage of the time are players barreling his pitches, hard hit percentage, ground ball percentage, and extension. So this guy has got all kinds of elite skills that he brings to the table. And what's nice about that is sometimes with the bullpen piece, the elite skills match the results. And
Hmm.
for the Frisbee Slayer, they matched this year. And it was awesome to watch. This is a guy, he's 30 years old. He
Yep.
throws just hard as crap. His K rate is league average. So he gets Ks, but this is not like a K monster,
Right.
right? So what he's doing, it's his breaking stuff that is suppressing guys' ability to square it up, and he's getting weak contact. But that seems to be a skill for him because these baseball savant like graph lines, two or three of those point to the fact that this is not some kind of fluke. This is just what that guy does.
Yeah.
What this guy does. His slider use was up, his curveball use was down. So
Mhm.
he's even honing in on what breaking pitch to use. And so, like, is he worth his bullpen spot? Or is he worth his roster spot? Yes, absolutely. I
Yes.
think he's the closer for the St. Louis Cardinals in 2026. He's on a rookie contract. This is one of these guys that we have reclaimed. And I love this so much because they've looked for these elite skills. He's got them. And man, we need to plug him in as much as we possibly can.
Yeah,
I
Jonathan.
agree. The only additions I have were I did some fan graph diving on the Frisbee Slayer, and here's the
Okay.
Frisbee right here. So Stuff Plus, I've told you about this. It does
Right.
that by
Yes.
individual pitches as well. His curveball has a 131 Stuff Plus.
Mm.
100 is the average.
Hmm.
31%. That is an elite curveball. That's the pitch. Whenever we say this thing breaks like 6.5 feet. Right now, you said he's been zeroing in on the slider a little bit more, but I thought that was absolutely insane to see how high that Stuff Plus was on his curveball. The other thing I love about Riley is he is not arbitration eligible until 2028.
Mm.
He's going to be
I'm
in the baseball
sorry.
nursing home before we have to pay
Mm.
Yeah.
him big bucks. Yeah.
So it's just guys like this. If you look at this whole exercise, if you have a guy like Riley O'Brien who's cheap, keep him back there. This is like his prime right here. We can use him as much as we want. If something happens and he's volatile, like you're going to hear me say that a few times here.
Mhm.
Relievers are volatile. If he is, that's fine. It's not like we've invested $70 million like a Josh Hader or maybe what Helsley might fetch in the offseason. I mean, think about Phil Maton. We signed him for like literally $45 and he was awesome. So you can do that with bullpen guys, and Riley is just directly in that line. So for lack of going through all of these different things, I love him. He is 100% on the next great Cardinal team if he continues to do this. Again, I tried
Yes.
to ask myself that question with this huge asterisk, but relievers are tough. It's tough to
Yep.
predict what these guys will do year in and year out. But Riley has shown nothing other than he can get swing and miss. And if you're going to do anything in the bullpen, it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something
Andy,
that
what'd you think?
I found that I liked was this is the first year that he has posted anything on Fangraphs that they consider a shutdown, which is coming in with runners in scoring position, and he
Mhm.
gets out of the inning without surrendering a run. He has not he's only pitched in the MLB for 4 years. The previous 3 seasons, he produced zero shutdowns. This year, he produced 10.
That's interesting.
So he 10 times he came in with runners on in scoring position and completely shut it down. So his win advancement rate also was in the positive. So that's kind of like the pitcher's version of it's kind of like a subset of WAR listener.
Mhm.
It's like how much did he advance? Yeah, I mean, how much did he advance to win? And a positive rating is obviously a good one, and he had
Yeah.
one. So, like you guys said, it's harder to like look at is less stock in the bullpen's WAR. It's
Harder
not.
to accumulate that
Yeah,
out
right.
there.
So it's harder to see that. So that's why, listener, we got to dig a little further in on these bullpen guys. So bear with us as we're through the weeds. Basically, we're saying the Frisbee Slayer is 100% worth a spot
Yeah.
as long as he produces. I'm all for Riley
I,
O'Brien being on a Cardinal.
I think he's close to perfect what you want. Out of nowhere, not a big name. I never want the Cardinals to spend huge dollars on
Right, and a
relievers
Yep.
again
bullpen guy.
because
Yep.
you can find these elite talents. I would say if he's got one toxic trait, it's the injury thing. And this is always the case for pitchers. But there's a reason he's 30 years old and he's just now having like a big league
Mhm.
breakthrough. And he's had a lot of injury troubles. So that does make me somewhat nervous. But I think the thing with bullpen pitchers is if they can go, you just throw them in there.
Yep.
Right. And
Absolutely.
the other thing about bullpen pitchers, if they get hurt, it's the it's the least big blow for the team because they produce the least because of the restriction on their innings.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly. And the only other thing I was going to add was Matt, you and I several years ago saw him
Oh,
in spring training when we had just signed him off the scrap heap, and I remember thinking, and we talked about like, what is this?
holy
He was
moly.
clearly like above average in many other ways. He comes
Mm.
in early in that year, gets hurt, we don't see him again. So him coming back, I mean, we were very pro Rob around here. We couldn't wait till he came back because we saw the potential. And I know everybody on the staff was like, please be healthy. Because if you're just healthy and can just throw in the strike zone, you're going to be fine. And that's exactly what he has done.
He is a living embodiment of like you watch him throw one pitch and you're like, oh yeah, stuff plus
Yeah,
131. You know what I mean? Like
it
you
makes
just
sense.
see it on your TV. Yes, yeah.
Yes, you can.
Well, let's move on to another positive. I mean, there's quite a few positives, but
hmm
another one that was really has been mentioned. Jonathan has done a couple of ringers on who is probably trade bait. This next player might be. So we're gonna go to Jojo Romero,
Yeah.
and see where he is. Was he? I'll go first on this
Yeah.
one. Was he
Yeah.
worth a spot on the St. Louis Cardinals? Yeah, yeah, he definitely was. He just something real quick that I want to toss out there of a reason why. His command, his stuff, is
Oh, yeah.
is above average, like almost literally everywhere. Like if you compare him to just an average bullpen pitcher, he is above average in everything. And I think I just rest my case right there.
Yeah.
His stuff, his location, everything, all those normalized things, listener, like we say WRC plus is
hmm
offensive normalized thing of 100. All of that was either right out at 100 in some subsets or above 100. So I rest my case there. Gentlemen, whoever wants to take it after that, go
I
for it.
I was just gonna say, Matt, if I didn't go through all of Riley's like his typical stat lines, ERA, WHIP,
Yeah.
FIP, I did all of that, and I'm looking at it, and if you look at JoJo and Riley, they are almost similar. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm not kidding, within like decimal points of each other in all of these main things, including their stuff, their pitching plus. He's got JoJo has a great slider. It's not 131,
Yes.
but it's a great slider. He has strikeout stuff. It's like they are mirrors of each other, left and right. They really
hmm
are, which is pretty impressive. He's a free agent in 27. I know we know this. So this is where my verdict on this one is if you got blown away by a trade offer in the offseason, then you trade him. He's a bullpen guy. Just maximize the value. If we don't, it's fine. I think we trade him at the deadline. I do. Relievers are very valuable at the trade deadline. He's not going to be on our next great Cardinal team. I just think because of his contract status. There's no way
Yeah.
we would shell out a contract for him. He has been great. I honestly couldn't find anything bad. Literally in my bad category says free agent in 2027. Like
Yeah.
that's the only bad thing. He's been awesome for us. Again, he could come out and be terrible next year because that's the way it goes with relievers, but
Yeah.
I think we keep him, and I do hope that we trade him to maximize the rest of his value until he's a free agent. I think that would be we would net something for him.
I agree. I think he's gone this year because we're not going to contend, and I just don't see a way for us to make the play. Something big would have to change for us to make the playoffs, and so it doesn't make sense. It makes sense to cash in on his value, and
Yeah.
at some point on this list, we're going to talk about a guy who is just a gem that we got through a trade deadline trade out of our bullpen. So I love JoJo. He's 29 years old, so we're not going to get into the decline phase. He also does not rely on like elite velocity on his fastball to do stuff. His baseball savant red bars were again average exit velo, so he's really getting that weak contact, hard hit percentage. He's great at denying that to hitters, and then ground ball percentage. And
Hmm.
in fact, his average exit velo is top 9% in all of baseball. Every pitcher. He does such a great
I
job
love
of
that.
limiting hard contact, and it goes back to that slider. So this is what I love to see too. The Cardinals ramped up the use of that slider. They were like, "Here,
Mhm.
man, you have the best pitch. Let's throw it more." And it turns out that has good results. I don't know if you guys remember this or not about this season. He started out kind of bad,
You're
and
shaky.
then Dusty Blake found like a mechanical thing he was doing that corrected that, and he was among the best relievers in baseball for the entire rest of the season. So I love everything we said. I love JoJo. I love his vibe. I love his little man bun at the back of his hat. I like
Yeah.
it all. So I'm just going to soak it in while we have it because we're not going to have it for this whole season, I don't think.
And he
Yeah.
was a good trade acquisition too from Mo. This was,
Yes.
if you recall, we traded Edmundo Sosa, Andy. That is like
No, I don't recall.
backup infielder. Like he's
Hmm.
just a backup infielder. He's played a little bit for the Phillies, but I can promise you
So
the
like
Phillies.
Pozo.
Maybe a little bit more than that. He has a little bit more
He can
run.
play
He
short.
played
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
but who wouldn't want JoJo on their team? The Phillies would have taken that all day long. I mean, he was probably our second best reliever all year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good on you, Mo, for that one.
Let's move on to someone who has the strikeout stuff, who has a very high K rate. Okay, Matt Svanson.
Mm.
He's young. He's 26, listener, and he came over from the almost world champions, probably should have been world champions,
Oh man.
Toronto Blue Jays.
Ooh, ooh.
And yeah, his K rate is 29%. So that is a pretty sizable reason of why I'll tease that out there. Matt, why don't you take us through first on Matt, since you share first names?
Okay. Wonderful. Let me tell you who Matt Swanson rhymes with. It's Ryan Helsley. This is it. We have an absolute fire breathing dragon in our bullpen. This may be,
Mm.
listeners, this might be the best pitcher we have on our staff. It's just in his role, he is not going to accrue the same type of war. His stuff is, my God. On Baseball
Disgusting.
Savant this last year, pitching run value was a huge plus. Fastball run value was a huge plus.
Mm.
Breaking ball run value was a huge plus. In his Reds, fastball velo, K rate, hard hit percentage. Now get this one. He is top 1% in weighted on base average in baseball. Andy, I love how you put this when you say this because you
Yeah,
often say this. What is the point of a pitcher? To keep the guys off the bases. Guess
it
who's in the
is.
top 1% at keeping guys off the bases? It is Matt Swanson. So I just told you that I think Rob should be the closer next year. I think Matt Swanson has the opportunity to be a multi-time closer all-star for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's
Yeah,
26 years old. He's going to get a whole bunch more run. He is wonderful. I love him.
yeah,
We need to protect him. We need
yeah.
to put him on the like don't pitch him too much kind of plan. Let's try not to get him hurt because we don't need these innings right now. But when we're good, he is potentially going to be a lockdown bullpen piece. Did I go too far? Because it was incredible what I saw.
You saying that you loved him was not too far.
Yeah,
Not
Okay.
too far. I
we
agree with the
accept that.
love. No,
Yes.
yeah. He was. I mean, everything is incredible on him. I didn't mention any like run values for certain pitches on other guys. I have to mention his. His sinker had a 12.8 run value. That is top. That is like top percentages in the entire league, entire Major League Baseball. That means when this guy threw his sinker, nothing happened. Nobody did anything with it. And if your
And
fastball can do that, go
right.
ahead,
And
Andy.
well, look what that sinker was doing in the
Yeah.
World Series. Look how many pitchers were throwing that sinker, and people were good hitters were absolutely looking like fools out there.
I
That
know. I know. Two things. Two last things on him. One, he isn't arbitration eligible until 2029. I mean, that
I'll be
is
in the nursing home. This is wonderful.
unbelievable how cheap this guy's going to be for this many years. Two, if you remember, Swanson was on the shuttle earlier in the year,
He was.
and we would have never found what Swanson was without the shuttle. So I am pro shuttle to the end of time. Bring these guys up. He didn't stick at first, right? He went back
Hmm.
up and down a few
Hmm.
times,
Hmm.
and he eventually stuck. And this is what I love to see. This is such a win from that whole ideology: is bring these dudes up, see what they got, bring a fresh pitcher back up, get the shuttle back going. And if he sticks, you don't send him back down. He is just the poster boy for that, right? The only thing I was going to ask you guys about Swanson, he's the only one on here who started to pitch. That isn't Leahy, because we already talked about him, in these multiple inning outings. I don't know. I'm trying to sit down, remain calm. But when they throw him for 3 innings and he posts this kind of stuff,
are you sweating in some good places?
They're real nice. I'm hot and bothered over here because 2 more innings is like a decent outing. I just wonder if this guy's so good and he was casually throwing 3 innings, is there a higher ceiling? If his ceiling is Ryan Helsley, give it to me. But if his ceiling is like a Ryan Helsley that can pitch 5 innings, I would take that too. I don't know what their plan is, but you can't look at that.
You're right.
I mean, the only experience he has in starting games was in single A ball.
Right.
For Toronto.
Let me introduce you to Trey Savage.
Sheesh.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't hear them say this in the way they say this with Leahy.
Yeah.
But if he does this again this year, you know what I'm saying? And like our starters are just bereft. And so would I love to see Matt Swanson start? Yes, I would. This guy's such a good pitcher, or at least his results were this past year. We'll see if he can replicate it. But I think that underlying elite talent is there for he's a monster.
Yeah.
We got him for nothing too. Matt, was it
Jordan
Hicks?
Yep.
Jordan Hicks is like out of the
he is, and we got an absolute fire-breathing dragon out of it.
Yep.
Good job, Mo.
Yeah. That's 2 for Mo. JoJo and Swanson.
Yeah.
He got those right.
All right. So we're going to go on to perhaps the biggest tongue twister of the group, of perhaps the winner of the Who Is This Guy award, just because of the last name, no offense, Jorge. Jorge Alcala is going to be the next on our list. And Jorge came to us, he's been pretty much from the Twins, right? Then he floated around kind of last year and landed with the Cardinals. We got him off waivers, yes? Is that a correct statement? From Boston?
Yes.
Yep.
The Chaim connection.
Grandma Palante let him go.
Jorge, he's got a different approach. He does.
Jonathan, why don't you lead off here on old Jorge?
Jorge is a perfect example of the volatility in relievers. His stuff is absolutely disgusting. Do you know whose curveball has a better stuff plus than Riley O'Brien? Jorge Alcala. Make that make sense, folks. Make it make sense. Alcala is the ultimate frisbee. If Rob's the frisbee slayer, which just made no sense. That broke my brain. Why was he not successful for these other teams? I don't know. His location was very shaky, right? He gave up a ton of home runs, but he has this high velo, good breaking ball stuff. We took a chance on him. Will I see him next year? Shoulder shrug. I don't know, right? Could we? Yes. If we cut bait on him and he goes to Seattle and is awesome, it is not going to surprise me one single bit, because these dudes, they are just volatile. I can't say it enough. Are we going to keep him? Honestly, he could be like a DFA guy, like a saving a 40-man slot guy. He wasn't impressive, but the stuff is there. It's there. So if he finds it, he's going to be good with somebody, but I'm really indifferent on what happens with him. He's just volatile. Matt, is that what you think?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the single one reason why he was not successful, and then Andy, I'm just going to clear out for you to trauma dump here, okay? Here's the issue. M. Walks is killing us. Walks is killing us.
That triggers my back pain that I developed. Like it was that's what was happening. Like my shoulder, that nerve was getting pinched, and that's what that happens. That triggers every time. It's
an actual trauma dump. It actually happened.
I kind of just have to do that, roll the shoulder because of that.
M. Walks is killing us.
He feels a nerve.
Andy in Little League baseball, he was quite the pitcher. Man. I mean, hitting bombs. Dare I say, a little Ohtani-esque from Andy in Little League. Would just come in and throw heat and then hit bombs. Just got smoked in the head by a fastball, stayed in the game, just tough as nails. It was
little do people know that Andy's middle name is actually Shohei.
That's true.
They didn't know that. They do now.
I just watched my
Incredible.
kids. I did win that. The only thing that I have from my childhood is the like I don't know 3 foot Pepsi can that I got
Oh
for
yeah.
the most valuable player and like the tournament leading up to the Little League World Series like qualifiers. And they just turned around the baseballs around the yard. I just watched Felicity
Still
have
got
it
it.
on her head, had it on her head, just run around the yard
There.
just
Better
today.
be buried with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when I say Matt Swanson was top 1% in weighted on base average, keeping guys off the bases, Jorge Alcala was bottom 1% in weighted on base average. Okay, so here's what
Ouch.
I'm going to say. The stuff is he is just a wild stallion. And we don't know if he's going to be able. This is really kind of ugly language because you're talking about human beings, but we don't know if anybody's going to be able to break him and ride
Uh,
him.
mm,
But if he can harness this,
Yeah.
he is another just absolutely electric bullpen piece. He's 30 years old. So
yes.
we're kind of getting late in the career for him to harness this stuff. So here's what I'm going to say. I would like to keep him around because I would rather take chances on guys like these
Yep.
than honestly the other three names that are going to come up on this list for us. I would rather watch him pitch than any of these other three guys, even if the results aren't quite there, because there is still, even at this point, this deep into our bullpen, I think there is an elite skill here. And that's what I want to populate my bullpen with is elite skill guys. And let's see if it can pop. And if it doesn't pop, Jorge, thank you so much for your
Yeah.
service. Take your wild stallion somewhere else, right?
Yeah. I would agree with that assessment. Yeah, it's kind of a ouch moment whenever like he obviously he's seasoned, right? He's been in the league for 7 years.
Mhm.
So he has service time of accrued over 5 years. So obviously he is a worthy pitcher to be in the Major League Baseball. So it's in, yeah. Is he on the next great Cardinals team? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Uh, do we put him out there to save Swanson's arm? Maybe.
Mm.
Maybe something like that. We do something that with him, or
Yeah.
someone like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like you said, we're not gonna be great this next
Yeah.
year. I mean, I think that's all there is to
It's not
it.
the
Sorry,
plan,
guys.
right?
Sorry,
Mhm.
guys.
I have one more note on him real quick, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
his four seam fastball was not very valuable despite the electricity that comes out of his elbow when he throws it. But his sinker was really good. And he didn't use his sinker very much, and he uses four seamer a lot. And so I wonder if he is like a prime turnaround candidate for, hey, Jorge, let's just switch the usage on these two
Yeah.
pitches. And if I can see this sitting in my basement, then I know the Cardinals can. And so I just wonder if this is how the devil magic happens, right? You notice these things, you get the guys to execute on them, and all of a sudden, we've got a late inning guy that we got off the scrap heap from Boston.
Yeah, I was just the last thing I was going to add on Hid was that there's so many of these guys just waiting to be
Oh,
discovered.
my. Yes.
Riley O'Brien is one of them. Nobody
Yes.
wanted him, right? He was on the island of what are Misfit Toys or whatever. He was just
Yeah.
chilling out there. JoJo was traded for a backup utility infielder. Matt Swanson was traded for a guy who now sports a mustache who should not, right? So, so you see what I'm saying? Like they're out there, and yeah, Matt, you're right. If this guy can, if he can do it, I mean, this is just yet another dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't overpay on the bullpen. That's for sure would be,
No,
if I'm a
never.
GM, that's what I'm doing. Like, because they're everywhere. They're all over the place. They can throw
Yeah,
out, like, you're just counting outs when you're a relief pitcher, right? Like, the
absolutely.
starting pitchers have to think about how far they're going. It's the flip side with these relief pitchers is how much time do I have left? Oh, I've got 2 outs left. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
I've got what, 7 pitches left? Okay, cool. All right, so let's move on to Mr. John King. He is of the people that we are covering today. He was the oldest Cardinal. He is 31 years old,
Hmm?
which is Jonathan.
Old.
Is so old.
So
Settle down.
old. Yeah,
Settle
Uh,
down. Settle down.
is not an overpowering arm that's going to strike a bunch of people out. That's not his profile. Which the Cardinals apparently are really good at acquiring guys like they're like that. He gets outs through hit balls because his strikeout rate
yeah.
was only 12.6. He's not like 30% like some of the elite strikeout guys. Jonathan, let's start with you.
Yeah.
Is John King worthy to have King City Chrysler come out of the bullpen? Not sponsored.
Yeah. No, he's not. He is as league average as league average gets. He's a ground ball pitcher. It's what he is.
That's what he is.
He has a use in that he has a almost 60% ground ball rate, which is
Like a double play guy.
that's a Palante-ish type of dude who's just living on the ground at all times. Here's the reality with John King that differs from Palante. Palante's a starter, and it's rough to see him right every single day. John King is useful on a B team bullpen. You have to have guys that come in when you're getting thwopped 7-2. You need guys like this. I'm not saying it is John King. We need guys like him. I am totally fine if we move on from him. There's nothing that he does that blows you away. Like I said, all of his counting stats are very league average.
Yep.
Pitching plus, league average. That's what he is. So if he goes and he is league average somewhere else, he's a ground ball lefty. I think we can find or use another guy that's in double, triple A, whatever. Somebody in our farm system to come up and replace something like this. So, John, appreciate you. You'll be a salesman at King City. We'll call you.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you used the name Andre Palante because this is left-handed Andre Palante fourth bullpen. That's exactly who this is. His K rate's in the bottom 1%. His max exit velocity is in the bottom 1%. His expected batting average against him is in the bottom 1%. So he does get ground balls and he does not walk guys. But what that tells me is when guys make contact, they are knocking the absolute crap out of the ball.
Yeah.
They are just obliterating him, and he can't strike anybody out. So this is exactly the kind of pitcher that I do not ever want the Cardinals to have again. No offense to John King, who I'm sure is a great person.
Yeah.
This is just not the profile that's going to get it done. I don't want to see this. I don't want John King in the bullpen anymore. If we carry him, whatever. He is never. This is where the line starts for me of this guy does not have an elite skill, and I don't see a way for him to turn into a great reliever. I just don't think it's in there. So I'm fine. He's 31. Let's move on. Let's find another reclamation project, right? And get him in here because the results won't be worse than John King's results were.
I agree with that.
On the average, right? Like usually.
I mean, I don't even have his ERA written down. Wasn't it like a 5 ERA?
4.80.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
4.6.
And his FIP is 5.
I wouldn't call that league average. I mean, I know you guys said that. I don't think I'd call that league average. That's bad.
I was just calling him league average from like the pitching plus perspective, like all of his from. But no, to your point of the tradition, the ERA, all of that. No, he was not good. No. He was a minus 0.4 WAR. That's a difficult thing to do in the bullpen.
And if you don't walk anybody and you get ground balls and you suppress hard contact, okay, you know what I mean? Like that might be a profile we can work with, but ground balls, no walks, and guys just smashing the ball off of you, I don't know if that works.
Right. No, and he's in his second year of arbitration already, so he's only going to get more expensive, right? Is that typically how that goes?
Yep. And he was a throw-in whenever we traded Montgomery to Texas.
Correct. Yep.
He was a throw-in. It was the deal was around Sajasi
and Takeo Roby.
And Roby, and John King was just like the third guy.
I have an honest question for you guys real quick. Just do you guys have to review that information, or do you actually just remember this crap? You remember that?
I just remember.
Yeah, that was.
You just off the dome remember where these guys come from like that?
Yeah.
Because
trades also don't happen all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like this last offseason, we traded 3 guys. So, and plus I see their names all the time. Like every time I see Roby, I know we traded Montgomery for him. It's just like seared into my memory. I don't know.
When we've retired from our regular jobs and are just doing this in 3 years, Andy, you'll be ripping this stuff off too.
I don't know. That's pretty impressive.
You will.
All right, let's move on to one Gordon Graceffo. And he's young. Listener, he's 25. So he came up with St. Louis. He's homegrown. He was not acquired through anything. We drafted him. So I do like that. I like to see maybe Mo. This is a little Mo happening here. Let's see what Mo has for us. Matt, take us through what Mo had for us with Mr. Gordon Graceffo.
I think Mo has a glass of milk that's just been left out on the countertop for about 4 hours for us. That is exactly what I think Graceffo is. His fastball velocity is nice. It's pretty good. But if you go through his baseball savant, everything else is bad. All of it. Hard contact rate, K rate, walk rate. I really am struggling to see a pitcher with major league stuff beyond simply he can throw a fastball pretty hard. That's good, but I think it just that's a good example of it takes more than just that.
It does.
And I don't see anything else in his profile that tells me he has more than just that. And what's more than that, I don't know that I can go find that in his Memphis profile either. So if he's not lighting the world on fire in AAA and then he comes up in the big leagues and he's really bad at limiting pull side air contact. And that is not a good sign because that's how you hit
No.
home runs.
Yes.
So I feel kind of bad about this. He's only 25 years old. Maybe the organization sees something or believes something that I don't. I don't see it with him. I'm okay. I'm good to move on from Graceffo.
Yeah, I largely agree with all of that, and think his ceiling at the point of what I've seen is just a B guy. He's this dude that comes in like when we were in Boston at the beginning of the year and we're getting
Oh,
absolutely smoked, and we put him in there and he got obliterated.
yes.
Right.
Hmm.
Now, is that his fault? That's a terrible position to be put in. He is young, Andy, to your point. Would it
Mm-hmm.
surprise me if we gave him more run? No, it would not. There was a very small stretch. I think there was a series out in Cincinnati where he was really good. He was out pumping like 100, striking out the side. Like he has maybe something, but everything points to him just being not quite good enough to get outs in the bullpen, and he's not quite good enough to get outs as a starter. So I don't really know what you do with that. But I do
I
always
do.
say, I mean, you get rid of him, right?
Yeah.
We got to have some guys out there. Now, I would be a more aggressive and replace him and put somebody else up there to see. Because what if you have 7 guys, 8 guys in the bullpen, and they're all awesome
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of having 3 that are terrible? He's just very meh to me. Him and
Yes.
McGreevy came up together, sort of. I feel like we saw those names a lot coming through the minor leagues. This was this like pitch to contact stuff. That's what Graceffo is. That's what McGreevy is. Graceffo just could not get outs, and McGreevy kind of did, and that's why he is where he is, and Graceffo is where he is.
Yeah.
And do you guys just think, last thing, of the Jedi Survivor games when you hear Graceffo? Is that what you think?
No, but I will now.
Okay, that's what I think every time. I just hear it's.
We're just going to have to play that game, Jonathan, where have you seen this game where
Uh
people take a word and they
huh.
add other things on top of it and
Okay.
they create new words? Like you start with only like a choice of like 10 things and you like build a vocabulary based on like just
Yeah.
your like you add food to Japan and it comes out like whatever sushi or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And like I would love to play this game a lot with you guys because just like the your guys' connections are
Yeah.
definitely different than mine. Something to point out with him, he
Yeah.
was the only Cardinals pitcher that I could find on Fangraphs that had more meltdowns than shutdowns, which is not great.
That's not
Um,
good.
that's not great.
Did you check Michaelis's page? Did you
I
check
mean,
that one?
okay, the relievers.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So he was definitely a negative win, like the win probability being added.
Oh yeah.
That was a negative, a pretty big negative.
Not a shock.
So that's tough.
It is.
And I wanted to see if like is this year a fluke? There's not a whole lot of data, so maybe it is a fluke. I don't know. I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind if we see him again, but if he is bad, just send him on the train and bring somebody else choo choo, right?
Yeah. That's what
That's
I
where I'm
think.
personally at with Gordon Graceffo is that's invite him to spring training. Maybe we'll see him at the start of the year, and he may just join uh, the bunch of people for the casual person and be like, "Who is this guy?" Like it's like, well, there's been like 4 months of like, "Oh yeah, I married
Yeah.
Gordon Graceffo." Like everyone's like, "No, I have no idea who you're talking
Yeah.
about."
I know we got
So
one more name, and he was the most interesting to me. Let me say this real quick.
Me too.
The bullpen, the names we've said so far, the bullpen is our franchise. And here's what I mean by this.
Hmm.
Mo can make trades and he can pick other people's guys, JoJo
Mhm.
and Swanson. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Okay. Chaim comes along and
oh,
he pulls out guys. Rob, ooh, there's an elite skill in there. Alcala, ooh, there's an elite skill in there. But you said it. McGreevy comes up and Graceffo comes up. And these are legacy Mo guys that we developed under Mo. And they are just milk toast
Yeah.
as all get out.
mm,
This is our franchise in miniature right here. We're talking about with these names. Now, John King doesn't
Good point.
quite fit that because Mo did trade for him, but he was the throw in. This is it. This is where we're at. We just done this over and over and over and over again.
well, I really like that point.
Yeah, I do too. That, and you know what's awesome is if you contrast that to like we're going to do the minor leagues here soon, there is none of that down there.
Nope.
And
We
boy,
got
does that,
guys coming.
if there's something that gets me hot and bothered, it's that right there. Graceffo ain't doing it, but
That and
these dudes
Swanson.
down there, old Swanee knows where to go. Yep.
Well, well, this is the last guy we're going to talk about is Ryan Fernandez, and this is a another Grandma Palante native, the Boston
Yep.
area,
The Heim
uh,
connection.
the Chaim connection. All right. So Ryan was drafted by Boston and in 2023 was sent Rule 5. Someone explain that for me and the other casual listeners. What on earth a Rule 5 is? Go for it.
Matt, you want to try?
They're so long that you can have a guy in the minors before you have to protect him from another franchise taking him. Boston elected not to protect him. The Cardinals took a chance on him. Rule 5 means you've got to be with the major league team right away. He was, and now after he's accrued so much service time with that major league team, we can now flip him
Put
up
him
and
on the
down in the
train.
minors, and we have.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. All right. So Jonathan, why don't you
Yeah.
take the lead here on
Mhm.
this guy?
Matt, you said that he was your most interesting, and I could not agree more.
Mm.
He like whenever you dig into it, he is. Hold
So
on
weird.
here. Yeah, hold on. He is exactly like Palante. Their 2024 to 2025 is almost the same. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
This year he was horrible. 7.71 ERA. His pitching plus was 91. You gotta look really long, scroll a long way to find relievers with a 91 pitching plus. That's terrible, right? He had a great strikeout rate last year or 2024, right? He was extremely good. His slider was insane. He never gave up any home runs. In 2024, his home runs per nine was .54. In 2025, it was 1.78. That's in half the innings pitched. There's his problem. My man forgot how to pitch. They talk about shapes. They talk about these things. He just forgot how to do it and was getting crushed all year. That's exactly what happened to Palante. Palante's best pitch was his fastball. It was his worst pitch in 2025. Fernandez's best pitch in 24 was his slider, and that was his worst in 2025. And the eye test supports all of that because when we would see him come in, he was getting rocked. Right, I will never forget. I've already alluded to it. Whenever Francisco Lindor crushed that walk-off home run against him, and Marmol's like, "If we're going to be good, Fernandez has to be better," and he's not wrong. I don't want to get rid of Fernandez yet. Him having that 2024 year was not a fluke. He pitched 60 innings. That's a lot of usage and was elite. He was awesome. Whatever happened to him this last year, he needs to like go to some kind of like nature camp and like be hypnotized and forget what happened.
Do something weird with Aaron Rodgers over the weekend in the dark or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I
it's
think
in there.
It illustrates the volatility of the bullpen guys. I think this is
a good example.
It's like the cautionary tale to all the GMs of like, this is why you don't wrap up these guys to huge long contracts because you can get a really good year like he had in 2024 where he's like, yeah, that's respectable to like, what just happened?
And he was like the last guy picked for dodgeball. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody wanted him in Boston. So we're like, I guess you're on our team, man. And he was awesome for us. And this year he was terrible. So going forward, I do want to keep him to see if it's in there.
Yep.
If he's bad, no skin off our back, no sweat off our back, right? It's okay. We got a great year out of him, and then he just fell apart, and now he's somebody else's project, like we have said.
Yeah, I'm going to build the case for why I also want to keep him. If you go to the Baseball Savant again, which, again, obviously shouts to them, his fastball velo is also elite.
Yeah.
But there is one thing very specifically that sets him apart from Graceffo, because Graceffo also throws hard. Fernandez has an elite whiff percentage. And even last year struggling, he also had that elite whiff percentage. So what that tells you is he can still miss bats even when he's off. That is a skill that is so important, and that is obviously going to lead directly to strikeouts. So you're right, Jonathan. I'll tell you exactly what he needs to do. He needs to go to slider camp because the slider was awesome in 2024, and he lost it in 2025. And if that slider is back in 2026, I think he just immediately returns to form. And what you get instead of just a whiff percentage is now that slider, you've got a put away pitch. And so those whiffs become Ks. And I will note, he had a 7.71 ERA, but his FIP was close to 4. So by FIP, he pitched much better than the 7.71 ERA. So everything you said is 100% right. I completely agree with it. I want to bring him back. I want him in the bullpen on opening day because I do think there is an elite talent in there. And if he can't harness it and if he can't bring it back, then we will wave goodbye to him. But I want to see him so much more than I want to see Graceffo because of that one thing that he's got that Graceffo does not.
Whiffs. He's got whiffs.
He does have whiffs. And he has a solo mustache, which is also a whiff. Maybe he needs to shave that and the slider will come back.
That could be. Slider camp, I just immediately thought those little cheeseburgers you get at restaurants. Like that slider camp.
I saw someplace in the Midwest in the summer with like a
Uh-huh.
lake and like some kind of huge slide in it. That's what I was picturing in my head. But
I love
obviously,
it.
I
They
didn't
could
see
do
it.
that
So
there too. That's fine. He's fascinating though. He is
he is.
fascinating because if
He
he's
is.
good, he is yet another guy that's just awesome out there. I mean, I will not
Chaim.
forget when he came in. This was his rookie debut. This is in 2024 out in San Diego. He came in and struck out the side, and it was like, what is this? It was a slider. So,
This is why Chaim is so exciting, though. The Fernandezes, the Robs, the Alcalas. This is who he goes and gets. He knows what to do, and that's just he hasn't even been in charge yet. I think we're going to see a
I know.
wave of these guys come through, not only from our minors, but our player acquisition from other franchises. This is who we're going to target. This is exactly who I want to target. I love it.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? I was going to ask you guys this, or really just say this: the contrast from last offseason to this one. We're trying to trade Arenado. It's kind of like, what are we doing? We did nothing, right? And all of the national writers gave us an F for the offseason. Like, we did
Yeah.
nothing at all. We talked
Yep.
about Arenado 32 times. This one, like, I'm genuinely excited about what's going to happen in the next 6 to 8 weeks and what and who is back in spring training. I don't care about the playoffs. I don't care about the season. I just want to see Weatherholt. I want to see what do we do with the bullpen? Do we bring guys up? Is Libertor, is he going to make it through the whole year? Like, this season is infinitely more exciting than last for me.
Real quick, with the slider talk, I don't
Yeah.
think I told you guys. I had the opportunity to like get like this VR headset on and watch fastball versus sliders from the same pitcher, like just like the stock
Yeah.
situation.
Okay,
And
you were hanging out with Elon Musk, or what was going on?
no, it's just like the Google thing about what are those called? Yeah, I'm feeling like an ancient old man. I can't
Yeah.
think of it off the top of my head,
That's
Yep.
okay.
but it's just a VR headset, and I'll be honest. I understand why Jordan Walker can't hit sliders because
Oh, sure.
I would have swung at so many sliders that like just slid into the other batter's box, and there'd been no shot for me to hit
Here's
it.
the difference between you and Jordan Walker. You've seen a slider one time on a VR headset. Jordan Walker's seen it
Yeah.
17,000 times in person.
Yeah, so I can
Befuddling.
understand why those are good pitches to throw. I understand why the moving pitches are the way to go because
Did
golly, it
did it
was
look like a
ridiculous.
fastball coming out?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
why?
it's
Yeah.
same like same everything until it just wasn't. Like it looked similar in speed and then it just broke like 4 feet off the plate, it felt like. And I was like, yep, I would have
Yeah.
waved at that one.
Well, maybe there are some listeners out here who will know this, but I would just invite everyone to flip on the original Nintendo system and put in the cartridge of RBI Baseball. You may have to blow on it, you may have to hit the sides of your machine,
Yes.
but RBI Baseball lives on you throwing a pitch that the geometry cannot be touched by the bat and just hoping that there are aggressive swingers. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. I think a slider is RBI Baseball to me. It's like, hey, 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 nope.
Yep,
Yep.
that's exactly right. And Andy, you were saying like you couldn't really pick it up. They always say with a slider you can see the dot of it spinning.
Mm.
The steam is making a dot. Now that's obviously easier said than done, but I mean, I think it's Ted Williams that used to say he could see the seams of the ball,
Yeah.
and that's probably
He
some
had like
kind of like
2013 vision too. Like it's backed up by
it could
medical
have been,
science. Yeah.
and that may
Mm.
be true. It could have been like a kind of a folklore type of thing, but the best hitters recognize pitches. The
Yeah.
best hitters know the zone. Those are the guys like Juan Soto, all these guys in the Hall of Fame. They knew the zone better than the umpires.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they used to say they didn't want to count or call strikes against Stan Musial because he knew it better than the umps. There's just so many things in history where
How many
Jordan
hat
Walker
taps is
may
he
not
gonna
be
have?
that.
Helmet taps would Stan the man had.
Oh man, it's just crazy to think that era versus now. That's a whole another
It
debate
is.
between
Yeah.
the difficulty, but that is interesting. I think I'd be with you on the slider stuff. I'd be flailing like a fish.
Oh, yep. So overall, we would like to see a majority of this bullpen, for the most part, come back as
Good
it was.
pieces. Yeah.
And if they obviously it's all fluid. If someone is choking and we have the ability, put them on the train. We'll see in a little while. See if you can come back up and be Matt Swanson again. Right?
Should we should we hold a vigil, Matt, for Zach Thompson? Zach Thompson was an elite bullpen guy. Was he not?
He was very, very, very good. I think the
Elite
best way
maybe
to honor
strong, but he
him,
was
and I
good.
mean he's injured. I suppose he could still have a career, but it just feels like kind of. I hope he does, but it feels like it's over at this point. I think what we should just do. We've done this a couple of times, but on this podcast, I think we just need to name it the Zach Thompson train.
Okay.
That's the
He
best
gets the
thing to
name
do
on
to
the
honor him.
stadium or something. Okay, got
Yes,
you. Right.
he
He's
gets
the bullet train.
Yes, he is the train back and forth to Memphis. It's Zach Thompson.
Not the Hogwarts Express. It's Zach Thompson.
No,
That's it.
you know at the end of trains where they have like the things where it's supposed to stop you, you know, like the
No, yeah. Mm-hmm.
those aren't there. It's just a building, and you just run straight into it. It's sad. Poor Zach.
Drunk Mo is driving it because we just turn all over the place. Man, Zach Thompson got jerked around so bad. I was scared they were going to do that with Libby, and I think Chaim stepped in and was like, nope, we can't do this.
Andy, you ought to look him up.
I'm telling you, maybe Chaim fails me, but that man, he is going to be the Cardinals franchise savior. He just is.
Well, there we go. You heard it first in the Redbird Rundown. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Your go-to source for all things St. Louis Cardinals. Be sure to subscribe and review the show. It really helps us grow, guys. Follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube for the latest updates. Keep those rally caps on, and let's go Cards.